Your Majesty, I think we have enough respect for one another personally to ask ourselves some of the bigger questions, woman to woman. We are the same age after all.
Really?
Just 6 months between us.
Oh? And who is the senior?
I am, ma'am.
I have to say, I would never have put you together as Margaret Thatcher. Was it a surprise to you that to be cast as Margaret Thatcher?
No, but I don't quite know why. I mean, on the one hand, what an extraordinary opportunity to play a complex character. And I think that's where I went immediately. And because it does feel like a stretch, and I knew how extraordinary the team on The Crown is, and no matter what, everybody would work really, really hard to try and make sure that at least on the outside, she looked as much like Thatcher as possible. And so, you know, my work was on the inside. No, I think it was exciting from the beginning, I think.
My goal is to change this country from being dependent to self-reliant, and I think in that I am succeeding.
There's extraordinary scenes between you and Olivia Colman as the Queen. What were they like to play, and how would you describe the relationship between Margaret Thatcher and the Queen?
Well, the relationship between them was quite well documented and notoriously a bit fractious. Working with Olivia is a pleasure and a delight, and I don't think probably resembles anything like their relationship at all. We had a lot of fun, and she's also, you know, a very generous actor, and I felt very safe trying and failing in her presence.
In the meantime, should we not make a start on the business of the week? Only I am mindful of the time.
This is the business, ma'am. The only business.
That voice, was that hard to maintain? Was it difficult on your throat, or?
Yeah, not too hard to maintain, because she has a lot of breath in her voice. Her voice is actually quite well grounded in breath. It doesn't sit that high on the throat, even though it's a lower timbre than mine is. You know, fun to do, fun to play with, challenging to kind of figure out how to not go too overboard and take it into parody. But ultimately, you know, her voice is as, you know, as quintessentially her as her wig.
All I want is to be loved. It's all any of us want from you.
The Crown is such a loved series, but I think everyone has been anticipating this chapter more than any other part. So do you think everyone will be pleased with what they see?
I really hope so. I feel very proud of what we've made. I think that, you know, so much time and effort goes into these things, and especially with something as big as The Crown, like the scale is so huge. And yeah, I'm excited for everyone to see what we've done. Diana and Charles have such a well-known relationship. I mean, it must be one of the most famous marriages in the world. But I think that what Peter Morgan does so well is write so intimately and sensitively about human experiences. And I'm excited for people to maybe reconsider what they think they know.
I'm sorry, we haven't met.
We have. I was in costume at the time. Sarah Spencer's younger sister.
The Mad Tree.
Diana.
Emma and I both set out to tell a story that is balanced. It kind of has empathy for both Diana and Charles. Like, marriages break down all the time, and with some of the best people in the world. And the big thing for me was that I wanted to tell Charles's side of the story as being someone who really did love Diana. You know, I think there's a moment in Australia where I think he really realizes he's totally in love, and then that doesn't last very long, unfortunately.
What was it like to film that? I know you didn't actually go to Australia.
We were in Spain. We were in Malaga, which was amazing, and you know, in Almeria, where they film all the spaghetti western.
But what was so important about that tour, especially for Princess Di? I guess that was her first overseas tour.
But yeah, for her it was a turning point, because that's when people fell in love with her. Like, I think she was happy finally in her marriage because she had got the acknowledgement from Charles that she'd always wanted. Then, you know, she was on in the crowds and she was enjoying herself, and I think that's when people really fell in love with her. So it was quite a turning point in that respect.
In time, she will give up her fight and bend.
And if she doesn't bend, what then? She will break.